Hey YouTubers, got a couple things to share with you today. This past weekend, I've just, I don't know, I study the news a lot. You know, I look at all the things that are going on in the world. I see all the end time events and all the, really the evil that's going on in the world. And also I get frustrated with people not only hardened to the gospel, that, you know, they won't listen to the only, message that will bring them salvation. Not only that, but even Christians themselves can't even perceive the times that we're living in. You know, if you talk to a Christian today about, if you just go into a church and you start talking about the end times, most of the people you talk to, it's going to be right over their head. They'd rather talk about fishing, football, hunting, cars, whatever. So, you know, it just gets frustrating coming up against so many people that are just like glazed over, blind, sheeple people. So over the weekend, I was saying to several different people, I remember repeating this a few times. I said, you know, I'm really just ready to move on from this world. You know, I was kind of thinking about Rosh Hashanah, like, well, you know, is Rosh Hashanah going to be the rapture? And, you know, I was really guarded about it because I don't like to get too hyped up about dates, because every time I have, it hasn't panned out. Doesn't mean Jesus isn't coming, just means that he'll come at an hour you think not. But, you know, back to my point. Over the weekend, I said this several times to a few different people. I was just like, you know, I'm ready to leave this world. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of just how hardened people are. You know, everything's just turned evil. And I just want to go live, you know, a life without sin. I want to understand what life is like in heaven, where you don't have these temptations. You don't have sin. You don't have even the desire or the thought to sin. You know, I want to live that life. And some days, so much so that I just want to get the heck out of here. So Monday came around. I got out of bed, and the first thing I did was, just say a quick prayer like, hey, Lord, talk to me. And I opened my Bible. Very first thing I opened to is Galatians chapter 1, and I'll start in verse 3. Grace to you and peace from God the Father and our Lord Jesus Christ, who gave himself for our sins that he might deliver us from this present evil age, according to the will of our God and Father. So what that told me was that God was listening, and he's saying, I am going to do exactly what you want. You know, I'm going to deliver you from this present evil age. So if you're bummed out because Rosh Hashanah didn't happen, you know, because the rapture didn't happen yesterday or the day before, don't quit. Don't give up. Don't quit watching. The signs are very obviously still in our face. You know, everything is going on. You got 25 to 30 nations over in the Middle East with navies. You got all kinds of armies set up to go to war. You've got Israel ready to strike Iran. I just saw an article where Israel just started their own war exercises, just kind of at a moment's notice. So there's things going on. And don't forget, the UN summit is going to be next week. I believe that's going to be very prophetic, and I want you to pay close attention, because I believe that they're going to say peace and security quite a bit. Now that the U.S. embassies have been under attack, I've been listening to Fox News on my XM satellite, and there's been a marked increase in the mention of security. They say security a lot. I've heard peace more. It's just, it's like a hot word that has been just said more and more often.
National peace and security in the Middle East.
Iran represents the biggest threat to peace and security.
And when it comes to peace and security issues.
That is to say, Israel and a Palestinian state living in peace and security with each other, which
the United States of America will not stand idly by in the face of actions that undermine global peace and security.
It's an organization committed to, among other things, peace and security.
Unbelievable consequences, grievous consequences for the peace and security of us all, of the world, really.
So, just wanted to remind you of that. And then I actually had two dreams recently, and I'll keep them brief. The second one's the more interesting of the two. But in the first one, I was sitting in like a break room, and there were a bunch of people in there, and I said something like, somebody said something about socialism, and I was like, you keep your stupid socialism to yourself. And then the room divided into two groups. There were the people that were like accepting of socialism, and then the people that gathered to my side were still holding on to, capitalism and clinging to capitalism. And then immediately after that, I remember walking outside, and I ran into a kid that I knew from high school. His name was Madison. Well, I woke up, and I was like, all right, well, socialism and Madison. So I go and I look up, James Madison. Well, I actually looked up Madison socialism. So when I looked up Madison socialism, I found an interesting quote. This is James Madison, one of the founding fathers, fourth president. Anyway, he said, if Congress can employ money indefinitely to the general warfare and are the sole and supreme judges of the general warfare, they may take the care of religion into their own hands. They may appoint teachers in every state, county, and parish, and pay them out of their public treasury. They may take into their own hands the education of children, establishing in like manner schools throughout the Union. They may assume the provision of the poor. They may undertake the regulation of all roads other than post roads. In short, everything from the highest object of state legislation down to the most minute object of police would be thrown under the power of Congress. Were the power of Congress to be established in the latitude contended for, it would subvert the very foundations and transmute the very nature of the limited government established by the people of America. So, I got a dream pretty much saying that, look up socialism, look up James Madison. And this guy quoted this. I don't know how old this quote is, but James Madison lived from 1751 to 1836. So he foresaw this a long time ago. And I believe that the dream is just saying that socialism is going to be forced on this country, and it's going to divide the country down the middle, and look at the election. That's exactly what's going on. The people that want to support Obama want to support socialism because, he's caused them to rely on the government for their provision. And the Republicans, still want to keep the society free, capitalist, all this stuff. I don't want to get into the politics of it. I'm just telling you what the dream was, that socialism would be forced on this country and divide the country. And then the other dream that I just had this morning, I used to idolize the band, the Smashing Pumpkins. And the dream I had was very brief about them. They were on stage playing a song, and Billy Corgan, the lead singer, had kind of a, in paintings, how they put like the halo around Jesus, well, it looked like that halo that you would see on a painting. And it wasn't a halo indicating that he was holy or that he was, divine or anything. It was more a halo indicating blasphemy. And the song that they were playing was called I Am One. So I was familiar with the song. The song came back to my memory right away, and I decided to look up the lyrics. And the lyrics are so prophetic, I'm telling you. The song starts out, I am one as you are three. Try to find Messiah in your Trinity. So that's obviously, I take that to mean, it's hard to really grasp what it's saying, but it sounds blasphemous. Something like, it sounds in a way that it's speaking against Messiah and the Trinity. But the very next thing is said, your city to burn. Try to look for something in your city to burn, you'll burn. So I've become very convinced that America is about to get judged. I believe Jonathan Kleck is onto something. I don't fully agree with, I don't know. I'm not, whatever. the guy has stumbled onto all this stuff about, America is going to be struck by nuclear missiles, among other things. And I've had another dream where, a dragon was going to, come down upon a city breathing fire, which lines up with this same thing. And so I just believe, I've asked the Lord, talk to me about what's going on in the world. And this is the dream that I get, your city to burn. So I believe that is saying, my city. It's not referring to, I don't know, it's personal, saying your city to burn. So I take that as being American cities. Another interesting thing, you go down to the next verse and it says, time is right for a guiding light. You can take that to mean one thing or the other. If this song is blasphemous, as I believe it is, I would say that perhaps this is talking about the Antichrist. Time is right for a guiding light. The Antichrist is going to be the false guiding light that comes to solve all the problems when the cities are burning. So that's what I really took away from this dream. And then somebody on my Facebook made a very interesting observation. The band that was, singing this song, the Smashing Pumpkins. And I didn't really consider this at first, and I'm not saying this to date set, but consider, what is the only time of year that pumpkins are relevant? Halloween. Halloween is 6 days before the election. So there's a lot of theories out there saying that, Israel could strike Iran before the election. I have a lot of my own theories, and I believe that Obama will maintain power, will maintain office by any means necessary. So to me, it makes sense that if he's going to hijack the election where it becomes a martial law situation or even a World War III situation, it would make more sense to me that he does that prior to the election so he doesn't look as guilty. If the election happens and, say, Romney wins, which I believe is a possibility, but according to the Bible, very unlikely, I believe that Obama's got this thing sealed. He's got it locked, just because he's not only a judgment against this country, but I'm also coming to believe that he's the Antichrist, and I hope to do a different video on that. But it is my opinion that if all this is going to occur, World War III or martial law or something of the sort, or an Israeli strike on Iran, I think that it would make more sense to do it before the election, because it kind of makes Obama look more innocent as he maintains power. So again, that's an opinion. I'm not prophesying. I'm not saying not saying to you that's what is going to occur. That is simply what I'm seeing as a strong possibility. So the two dreams that I got: socialism is coming to this country and it's going to divide this country, and judgment is coming to this country. Like I've said in the past, your city to burn, try to look for something in your city to burn. So I believe American cities are going to burn, and I believe that is accurate and can be backed up by Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, Revelation 18, and I do believe thoroughly that America is Babylon. So, regardless of if you live in one of these cities or not, you need to be ready to meet Jesus Christ. If the bombs start falling, you need to know if you are saved. So, I don't want to drag on too long, but it's absolutely imperative that you come into a relationship with Jesus Christ, not just a belief, but knowing Him as you would, know a friend, or as you would know someone in your own family. So, you must have a relationship. I hope to do more videos here in the future, so I'll probably expand more on those thoughts later. But Just give me your feedback on what you thought about these dreams. And I guess that's it today.